Hey, hello everybody. Super good morning everyone. Welcome to today's show. We are going to be talking about the August 10-day master forecast for the month of wooden monkey. All right, so we're going to be doing that today. So how's everyone doing this particular month? It's already 31st of July, last day of the month of July, at least on the Gregorian calendar. I can see that Pepper is around, Manuel, Jocelyn, Rag, David is around, Sabrina, Stuart, PJ, Keesing, you know. So how was yesterday? Big thing was the earthquake, tsunami, a lot of video, exciting, right? So for those of you in Malaysia and also Singapore, right, feel very fortunate, right? We are basically covered from all the, you know, earthquake related problem. You know, one side we got the Philippines as our shield, the rest of it is basically Indonesia is our shield. Right, so hardly affected, right? So the video, don't know which one is real, which one is not real, really, because nowadays there's a lot of AI overly enhanced, overly exaggerated video out there, right? So frankly, I really don't know which is real, but anyway, you know, just look at it, you know, have some fun on it, right? So it's like, oh, this is how tsunami look like, right? So but anyhow, right, so now we're going into the month of August. You know, let's take a look at, you know, what are the energetic opportunity for the month of August, right? So I can see that YK just joined in, Anthony just joined in, Cindy just joined in, right? So wonderful morning to everybody, right? So month of August start on the 7th of August until the 6th of September. So that's the official monkey month, what we call timing, right? So monkey month also is the time where the planet will be tilting towards the other side. Okay, right, so the planet will do, so which means that we're going to go into the other side, you know. So it's the what we call the yang energy transit into the yin energy time. So which means that night is going to be longer, day is going to be shorter, right? So that's about, you know, the thing, right? So don't really need to bother about too much. A month is just a month. All right, so come, let me just shrink myself down to the smaller version. So as you can see, this particular month, the graphic is basically a person cutting a tree. So you got your shen, which is metal, and then your jia on the top. You know, this is like tree being chopped, right? So chopping a tree, right? So pretty simple for you to take a look at. But anyway, right, you look at this, you know, please don't feel like, oh, tree's gonna be chopped, die lah. Right? No. Okay, right, come, let's take a look. You know, as usual, getting in touch with me, Telegram is a good way to do so. You can actually just PM me in Telegram, right? Just click on the picture, then you can send private message, right? So the monthly forecast, which is in Substacks, right? So the forecast has already been sent out yesterday, right? So you know, read it, you know, up to you, right? So you know, you want to have the forecast on a written form, that's where you go, right? So, and also there is going to be the community channel, right? So which I've already changed the banner into a cute Paushi of myself. Later I'll get this change. Okay, right, so come, let's take a look. If you have not printed your parcel chart yet, please go to Typing Astro, right? So you can use the free version. Free version, you get the exact same thing, right? So just less button to click, right? So go and take a look at what is your DayMaster. So the DayMaster is the filler under the day box. That's it, right? So there's 10 of them. Right, so Jia Ping Ting, Wu Ji Geng, Xing Ren Kui, right, so it's 10 of them. You have to be one of them. So the entire forecast is based on this 10 master interaction with the month energy of Jia Shen, right? So it's month energy of Jia Shen. So we will start to talk about in each of the 10-day master, what is the different expectation in terms of the energetic what we call energy that's coming. So it will give you different strategy, different way of thinking, how to react to the month. The month is the same month, right? The month is basically the same month, right? So this is how do you react. So now this is the month, which is on the 7th of August until 6th of September, right? So which is the month of the monkey. So which means that we got another 6 more to go, right? So another 6 more months to go for the end of the snake year and welcoming the horse year, right? So just nice halfway point, right? So halfway point usually is, it's time for you to do yourself a toll gate review. Take a look at what we have done for the past 6 months. 6 months gone already. good if you have the 6 months gone already feeling, then it's actually good, right? So it's time for you to take a look at what have you achieved, what have you done, is this particular year a good year, so stuff like that. It's time to sit down for you to take a look at it, right? So yes, the month of monkey, now monkey and snake, so this is snake years, monkey and snake is a combined, so this is called a combo month, right? So it's a combo month, right? So combo month, they will attract energy into the particular month, right? So the snake will combine and attract energy. So the snake and also the monkey combination actually creates what we call water energy, right? So you got an additional energy, which is water energy, that is gonna be present itself, right? So now please don't go and form the conclusion, no wonder got earthquake and then got tsunami water. Please don't do this sort of conclusion, right? So not a good way of using the information. Right, so come, let's go in and take a look, what are the energetic, right? So the interaction, the 10 god Shen Sha interaction for the monkey is basically creating the intelligence and great moon. So from these two Shen Sha, you can see that this particular month is a good month for you to study, right? So when I say study, gather information to make more intelligent choices, so given that you now has what we call statistic for the year, right? So you got 6 months worth of statistic, you have already done certain amount of work for 6 months, right? So it's enough for you to make an inference. So this is where the intelligence star and also great moon come in. Intelligence star allow you to understand what is basically happening. Great moon allow you to search for information, right? So 6 months, you have already done certain amount of work, whether it's pushing you towards the direction that you need to go, or it is not pushing you to the direction you need to go. By now, you should have a clear idea. You have not done anything, by now you should have a clear idea, right? So please, no more excuses. 6 months, you cannot have any excuses anymore, right? So you should know what is happening around you, whether you are doing the right thing or you are completely not doing anything at all. Again, it's up to you, okay? Right? So use the information for the 6 months that you have gathered to make better decision for the next 6 months. So that's basically the gist of the Shen Sha that is available, right? So come, let's take a look, right? So this particular month, right? So the heaven and earth combined is the snake and also the earth snake, Ji Si, right? So if you have a Ji Si in your Bazi chart, the energetic for this particular month is a little bit more intense for you. Right, so that's the only difference, right? So intensity up, right? So and then for the Wu Yin, right? So which is the heaven and earth clash, you would find that the energy is a little bit more repelling than normal, right? So this is like a magnet attraction and repellent, right? So just see. So your interaction with the month energy is a little bit more intense. That's all, right? So please don't go and conclude it at whether it's good or bad. Good or bad, you need to go and study whether the energy that's represented by the Jiashen is actually something that will assist you in your objective or something that will hinder you in your objective. Right, so that you need to make an informed judgment on the situation, right? So it depends on what's your objective, what are you doing. Certain activity will help you, certain activity will hinder you, right? So it's also, there's no right, wrong, correct, not correct, this sort of stuff. Hello, Crimson Phoenix, how are you? Hello, Shu, right? Welcome. So just now, it's already the DayMaster for the month is basically Wu Earth. So we will start off with Wu Earth, right? I just purposely want to use the menu. Purposely want to use the menu, right? So now if you take a look at the graphic, right, this piece of rock, all right, so there are people who claiming that this piece of rock is a tree, so we got this in the long time ago, very long time, super long time ago, they believe that planet Earth have a mega big tree, tree of life, right? So tree of life, tree of this, right? So this is the stump of the tree after it has been cut off, right? So it have gone through a petrification process. Right, so there's such thing as petrified tree. So tree that is basically fallen onto swampy area. So it has been changed into rock. So they claim that, you know, this is right. So it's basically a Wu-Earth lah. It's basically a Wu-Earth. So if you take a look at this particular formation is with 7 killing and also 18 court, right? So now 7 killing, 18 court belong to the special structure, right? So special structure or special formation, right? So we will go into looking at structure and formation, right? So for the 八字, 36 of them, 36 official of them. So one of them is this particular structure, which is called 6神制殺, 18 God, controlling the 7 killing, right? So because the 7 killing is something that is very scary, right? So at least in the 八字 world, 7 killing has always been labeled as the, you know, troublemaker, the problem. So for Wu-Earth, if you want to see that, you know, oh, this month seems like there is a lot of problem, you can basically say that, right? So you can basically say that, but at the same time, the good thing is that the 18 God is there to control it, right? So which means for every single problem that comes out, you somehow is able to find a solution. Wouldn't that be good? Right? Wouldn't that be good? And additionally, because the combination of the snake and also the monkey actually produces water, water is your wealth star, which is extra good, right? So which means that the solution that you have created would be something that is able to generate wealth. That would be pretty good, right? It's a pretty good month, right? So pretty good months, right? So of course, you know, the main problem with Wu-Earth is that Wu-Earth don't move. You got opportunity, the bugger just stay there, right? So that is what we call the problem with being a Wu-Earth, right? So the Wu-Earth is a we call the Wu-Earth as somebody who have very low desire, right? So they got very low desire, they got a very high sense of responsibility, right? So low desire mean that they don't chase after stuff, right? So they just welcome stuff that come to them. The stuff that doesn't come to them, you know, they're okay with letting it go, right? So they are usually very good at, you know, holding on to fort. Again, you know, it's a non-moving thingy, right? So that's how they basically do it, right? So that's how they basically does things, right? So with this in mind, then you start to see that, you know, Wu-Earth, when it comes to money making, putting in effort into getting things done, seems to be at the, you know, back end of stuff. So if you're Wu-Earth, right, please move. More like the mountain, right? Please move. Okay, right? So, you know, put it in a way, you know, so the what we call the idea that you have, the 18 God that you have, you know, it's only going to be idea. It's only going to be an idea if you do not go and take action about it. 7 killing is really about taking action, right? So it's about really taking action, really, you know, going out for the attack, right? So that is what you're going to do. The opportunity is there, you know, so this particular month is actually an opportune month, right? So which means that also means if you have problem, you don't know how to solve it, and you're not a Wu-Earth, bring your problem to the Wu-Earth. The Wu-Earth will somehow is able to come up with some suggestion that you can execute. The Wu-Earth won't be able to execute it because the fella, you know, couldn't be bothered. It's okay. You use the Wu-Earth as a processing center, right? You carry the problem over to the Wu-Earth and tell the problem to Wu-Earth. So Wu-Earth will give you a few suggestions, as in, you know, if I were you, right, I will be doing this, and this. You go and do it. Simple, because you don't have any idea what to do, man. Right? Get somebody else to give you the idea. Then, you know, you go and execute and see what is the solution. The fellow will give you to, you know, a few different solutions. Do that. Right? So using 八字 is like that, you know, as long as the energetic point is not with you, go find somebody else who has it. You know, very simple. You know, don't make the entire thing too difficult. All right. So come, let's take a look at the Think Fire. Right? So we will go the other way around, right? So Think Fire got the direct resource and direct wealth, right? So now again, a classical what we call classical 八字, you know, they like the 3 direct fella, the direct wealth, direct resources, and also the direct officer. They love it. So this one, you can see it's like chopped wood being light up, you know? So it's a fireplace. It's a fireplace, you know, very warm, right? So very warm, you know, so very welcoming, right? So, you know, it's those type of basic situation, right? So now the direct resource, so, you know, this is basically what we represent: knowledge, skill set, right? So all this kind of stuff. So this is a month, you know, whereby you can leverage a lot on your skill set, leverage a lot on your knowledge to basically generate solution, right? So to basically generate solution on the things that is happening around you, right? So most likely a lot of time when we see direct resource is actually directly you will be meeting up with somebody who has the information that you require for you to move forward. So with the direct wealth there, right, so it give you the diligence to basically move forward towards the direction that is required. So that's the positive part about, you know, having a think fire if you're a think fire fella. So which means this particular month, your ability to get things done in a proper manner is basically much more higher. Right, so now again with the introduction of the water, right? So introduction of the water is basically direct officer and also 7 killing. Right? Specifically because the monkey got run water inside, the run water will be something that is stronger. So it's direct officer. Direct officer represent your discipline. Right, so which means that, you know, all the three required direct resource, direct officer, and also direct wealth is present. So you can basically talk about this is a month whereby your productivity, your ability to solve problems, your ability to get things done is basically at the max point. Very good, right? So please pour your effort into something that's worthwhile. Right, so again, the Bazi chart do not direct you to do something that is, whether it's, you know, valuable or not valuable. That is your direction. You know, if you take this particular month as a month for you to go and watch Netflix, you will finish whatever Netflix show that you want to watch. You will probably have a good understanding on the Netflix show as well, right? So but it doesn't help you with anything, right? Having knowing all the Netflix show, you know, doesn't really what we call change the entire situation, right? So you need to be able to direct your energy into a effort, into objective that's basically worthwhile to you. So again, worthwhile doesn't mean anything to the rest of the people. It depends on you, right? So if you feel like, you know, this particular month you want to spend your time rescuing dog on the street, you will rescue a lot of dog, right? You will know how to rescue the dog. That's about it, right? So, you know, yeah, you know, put it on to the good things you want to do, right? So, you know, the counterpart, ping fire, right? So ping fire is basically your indirect resource versus your indirect wealth. So indirect wealth always talk about opportunity, right? So, you know, yeah, no, got indirect opportunity, right? So which means it's a situation, you know, whereby there is seems to be a lot of opportunity around, right? So now when there is a lot of opportunity around, coupled with the star of curiosity, which is indirect resource, you can see that this particular person basically doesn't really have a footing on what the fella hell want to do. No footing on what the hell want to do, but I want to try out a lot of new thing. Very curious, want to try out a lot of new thing. So now this is, you know, the graphic I tell you is, you know, is a piece of forest that has already been cut down, you know, with all the wood down there, but the wood is not doing anything. Right, so now wood in this particular condition is actually not useful. Okay, right, so yeah, just cut down the log. The log are not useful. It's only useful when the log is being used for certain activity, like making furniture. Right, so you're not making furniture out of the rock, no, but it's, you know, you just see that, you know, oh, I got a lot of log there, but you are not doing anything with the log, right? So this means that you got a lot of opportunity around, but you're not actually doing anything that is worthy, right? So you have to be careful of that, right? So which means that you need to focus your energy, right? So it's about energy focusing, right? So you can see that the 7 killing is about execution. You need to take this and then, you know, make it into something that is useful, right? Or else you will have a lot of ideas, a lot of supplies, a lot of opportunities here, which eventually is going to be wasted, right? So this log, you know, you leave it there, it will rot, right? It will rot, people will come and steal it, you know, it's like no point, right? So a lot of potential, right? So you can see that, oh, I can make a lot of things from this, but nothing is ever being made. So potential wasted, right? So that's the side of it that you need to be careful of. The positive side is plenty of opportunity this particular month, right? So do some picking, right? So, you know, do some picking and see that, you know, whatever that is available for you to do, you require to put in some form of direction, right? So direction, discipline into it, right? So let's take a look at Yeatwood. Yeatwood got Rock Wealth Direct Officer, right? So Rock Wealth is a competition, right? So Rock Wealth basically is competition, right? So this is actually the idea of picking the correct fight, right? So direct officer is basically rules, regulation, and things like that, right? So who are the people that you are picking for the actual fight, right? So the idea is that if the enemy is sending in cavalry, please don't use archer to shoot them. Archer is lousy at stopping cavalry, right? So you need to have spearmen, right? So spearman is the one that's supposed to what we call stop the cavalry. But if the other side is sending in foot soldier, then your archer will be good for you to do, right? So this is really about how you outmaneuver your competition, right? So now who you want to compete with, that is up to you, right? So when we talk about Rock Wealth, a lot of people say that, oh, no, competition is coming in to take things away from me. They can come in and take things away from you, which means that you got big whole gap in whatever that you're doing, right? So you cannot be telling people my success is because nobody come and take things away from me. That is not called success. Okay, right? So success is that got people come, also you are able to handle this particular person. That is true success. That only telling you that you truly understand the industry and the business that you are in, right? So if a young chap come into the company and straight away replace you, right, you wasn't a very valuable person, a team in the team to begin with, right? So you need to know. So a lot of people don't really understand competitive advantage. They don't really understand. They feel like oh, because I'm here very long, I should be allowed to be around. But you have to upgrade yourself, right? So a lot of time requires some upgrading, right? So Yeatwood, this particular month is a great month, right? So because again, direct officer basically mean power and status. So you have the power and status to basically outmaneuver your competition, which is good, right? So but if you are competing with the wrong people, then bad law. As in you are joining battle that doesn't matter. Right, so some people is like that, they're going to join battle that doesn't matter, go and argue with people that doesn't really contribute to anything, right? So let's take a look at Jiawood, right? So Jiawood got the friend star and also the 7 killing. So this one, you imagine a group of, and this one, if you play game, right? If you play game, you form team, then you go into raiding dungeon, or you want to get past, my favorite Dark Forest, right? So group of people get past Dark Forest. So the thing is that Dark Forest is very dangerous, 7k, right? So Dark Forest is a very dangerous place. In actual sense, you don't know who will survive, right? In actual sense, when you form the group, you do not know who will actually survive, right? So this particular group is, it could be people who you've been with some time, it could be new people. So the question is, you go into the Dark Forest, there's going to be a lot of things that is going to be happening around. You cannot be guaranteeing that everybody will walk out alive. So of course, sometimes you feel like, that should be the situation going on, but sometimes it's not. Right? So you can see that 7 killing with the friend star is basically a situation whereby you need to decide who are the people that you can depend on versus who are the people that you can't. Right, so and you have no time to go and protect, because why? The 7 killing doesn't chop you, it's going to chop somebody else. Makes sense, right? The 7 killing doesn't chop you, you're going to chop somebody else, which means someone's going to get chopped. So of course, at the same time also, having the friend star around, which actually means that teamwork does count. Right, so the teamwork does count, right? So with a proper team, you form a correct team, you will be able to go through the hardship. Execution is going to be better and easier. So the question is, your teammate, including you, whether you are worthy, or the correct word is competence of your team. So of course, today you are not gonna go into Dark Forest and fight 6-headed monster, right? So it's not going to happen. So now you can translate it to your work, right? So you can translate it to your work. Are you putting in the correct effort? Is the people around you putting in the correct effort, right? So with the 7k around, which means that there's going to be certain things that need to be addressed, right? So there's going to be certain things that need to be addressed. Certain people will need to be dropped, right? Certain people need to drop, because this is about the survival of the entire thing. right? Who to drop, what to drop, who are the competent one, you have to go and settle it. The parts chart don't settle for you. But this month you will find out, right? So that's the thing that you need to take a look. Right, so Clearwater, right? So Clearwater got the HO and also the direct resource. Hurting officer, under normal circumstances, you guys know that hurting officer is basically the troublemaker. Hurting officer obstruct direct officer, right? So direct officer is rule and regulations, order, right? So with the hurting officer around, is usually no order, right? So but when the direct resource is around, the hurting officer basically is a little bit more obedient, because the problem with hurting officer is a lot of time hurting officer they do things without actual backing, right? So they go and do things without actual backing. But with the direct resource, you actually have a backing, right? You actually have a backing. So this one make the hurting officer a little bit more stronger, right? The hurting officer a little bit more stronger. So this one you can see it as an advancement, and an advancement that basically break the status quo, but it's the correct advancement. Right? So like for example, being able to use the energy of the water, right? So yeah, the snake and also the monkey combination produces water, so I just borrow, right? So being to use the energy of the water to turn the water key, and to be able to use the kinetic energy to do a lot of things like sawing wood, all this kind of thing. These are technology advancement, right? So with the hurting officer, which is again another one star that has to do with creativity, right? So it's this sort of situation, right? So you will be breaking status quo, this particular, so which means that the thing that you tell people is actually something that has a backing, which is good which is a good thing, right? So do use this particular energy to communicate things that need to be communicated. Your ability to bring things into light is actually much more stronger. But at the same time, right? So again, please not everybody like the way that is communicated, because whatever you communicate is going to be something that is threatening certain amount of people who want things to be in status quo. Like any new technology that is being introduced, like currently we are introducing AI into the things that we are doing. A lot of people say, oh, AI gonna take away my job. I always ask them, you really want to do the work? Ask yourself, this come from very, very long time ago. So people say that, oh, foreign worker come over, take over our job. Our people don't have job. First of all, you really want to do the work that the foreign worker is doing. You ask 10 people, right? All 10 tell you they don't want to do the work. Then who's supposed to do the work? Right, so like the food industry, food industry is very heavily dependent on the for foreign worker. Even when you talk about plantation industry, right? So tea, all this kind of very dependent on foreign worker, right? So you say, oh, foreign worker come take away all this job. So if I ask you, would you send your children into the F&B industry and run the restaurant? Say no. You're gonna say, oh no, but then you don't let other people do it, right? So a hurting officer is like this. The one that you need to be careful of, there are going to be certain people who doesn't agree with your direction of your advancement. Fine lah, right? Don't worry. If the fellow say that, I do not want to use this technology to power my wood cutting business, it's fine lah. Just leave the bugger alone. Leave the bugger alone. It's okay. Don't worry. But talk to people who want to listen, right? So that's basically the idea, right? So rainwater. Let's take a look at rainwater, right? So rainwater got EG and IRA, right? So now, by the way, EG and IRA is again another special formation in the study of parts structure. So this is called Hughes and Dissing, right? So Hughes and Dissing is the owl stealing the food, right? So it's basically your eating god is being countered, right? So your eating god is being countered. So the eating god is a good guy, right? So it's being countered, right? So right now is that. So it tells a story of a person who does not really have good focus, right? So again, indirect resource always causes a person to be a bit curious, kepo. So when you're curious, kepo, your mind is a bit scattered. Your mind is a bit scattered, right? It's not really very focused, a lot of bling around, so this is interesting, that is interesting, right? So like for example, we see this, right? So people used to transport the what we call the log, on land, right? So it's not a smart thing to do. Then somebody said that, why don't we just throw all the log into the river and let the river carry the log down? At first, if you hear this particular idea, right, it's like very stupid one, I just cut the tree, so hard, you ask me to throw it into the river, right? So people will say, how am I going to retrieve the log, whatever they did. Initially, it's really a dumb idea. People cannot understand why, but currently, this is one of the most favorable method of transporting log. Yeah, they use river to basically transport. A lot of farm even does this. They have a special waterway to transport the produce, coconut, banana. Right? They basically float all the coconut and banana down. They don't use truck to carry them. Right, so this is it, right? So very famous, and basically Apple, right? So Apple, Steve Jobs, right? So Steve Jobs is a pretty strong eating god. He's a pretty strong eating god, right? So the way that he's thinking is always people say it's very way advanced. I always give example is that Apple came out and then tell people that a phone doesn't need any button. It was during the time that BlackBerry and Nokia introduced full keyboard on the phone, especially BlackBerry Bold. You don't know, right? My tech. Full keyboard, it's like, oh, now I can hit email, and Apple come out say that my phone no button. Everybody said Apple crazy one. Today your phone got button, your phone got one button. People say that, hey, whatever lah. Okay, right? So yeah, right? So just be careful. Just be careful of the thing that is being introduced. If you run water, it may be super brilliant idea, but no one's gonna be able to understand freaking what you are doing. So again, same thing. They don't understand. You allow them to not understand. Right? You allow them to don't understand. Right? So IR can study Chinese metaphysics. IR allow you to accept stuff that usually a bit more difficult to accept. Just like that, right? So because IR doesn't go deep on anything, IR just touch everything on the surface. So IR, when they look at things, that's it. Right? Don't ask for detail. If you're somebody IR very strong one, don't ask for detail. Right? So IR is very good for tabloid news. Right? They don't do deep research. They're very good at tabloid news. Gossip tabloid news. IR is very good at it. Right? So if you just want to listen to stories, right? IR is a pretty good storyteller. Okay? Right? So cool, right? So go and look for IR. So thin metal, right? So thin metal got direct well, rock well. So again, direct well, rock well isn't a very good combination, right? So they don't really like it, right? So a lot of time when you look at direct well, rock wealth is a basic situation of money being stolen by other people. If you don't deep dive on how to master a subject, Crimson, a lot of time you don't really need to master a subject for you to be able to get things done. Right, so that's a basic thing that you need to know, right? So it doesn't really need to master a subject. You just need to know enough. Like for example, driving a car. Do you know how the car is being manufactured? Absolutely no idea. If I ask you when you press on the accelerator, what are the parts that move, that causes the car to move forward? You know me? But yeah, you drive car. Right, so this is the entire idea. You don't really need to know everything deep. Right? So for you to get things done, you don't need to know everything deep. Right? So indirect resource has that particular pertinent ability. Right? So to basically to know everything on the surface, but the fella know enough, broad enough. Broaden enough, know enough to handle situation enough. Okay? But again, the problem is, if your car break down, gone. Direct resource would probably be able to fix the car and diagnose what's wrong with the car. Indirect resource can't. That's the only difference. Know the wheel, accelerator, and the brake. Yes, especially Eclipse, especially the brake. Please know the brake. Right? Accelerator is okay, it's fine, but please know the brake. Right, so now back to this one, right? So direct weld with rod weld. So that this is a wood cutter with an axe trying to fight with a wood cutter with a chainsaw. Okay, right? So the wood cutter with an axe trying to fight with a wood cutter with a chainsaw, or more specifically, the scene metal is a small knife, right? So you try to cut the tree with a small knife versus somebody who uses an axe to cut the tree, right? So you have this particular competitive dynamic, right? So no, of course, right now is, you need to pick your fight. Every single time you see rod weld, right, the entire team is picking a fight. Right, so on what sort of circumstance does the small knife would be more appropriate than the big axe? Chopping vegetable, right? So if you're fighting in the kitchen, then you win. Big axe in the kitchen, no use, right? So small knife in the kitchen is useful, right? So especially in things like carving tofu, right? So you need to pick the correct fight for a scene metal. The entire idea is that, right? So just imagine fighting the correct battle, right? So which means that you need to niche down the battle. So if you're having a battle with somebody else, competition, you need to be able to niche down to the exact point whereby you are shining, right? So cannot fight on a broad sense. So which means that, noodle versus noodle house, the fella sell cheaper, you cannot be fighting selling cheaper with the other person, right? So probably, your noodle got better char siu, barbecue pork, right? So, yeah, you guys serving the same noodle, but, I got better barbecue pork, right? So then you highlight your barbecue pork lah. That's about it only, man. Right? So we weren't taught how to drive across Singapore. Right, so Singapore recently has a sinkhole, like Malaysia, sinkhole is like every day. Don't know want to be proud or not, right? Don't know want to be proud or not, right? So that's the thing, right? So now your steam metal, right? So that's basically the situation is, right? So now the good thing is that direct wealth is there, which means that there is actual opportunity for you to make some money this month, right? So this only, you just need to know where to pick for the competition, right? So of course, traditional reading means, this month you're gonna lose money. Yes lah, right? So yes, this month gonna lose money if your battle tactic is just blindly go and battle everybody, then you're gonna basically lose money. That's true. Okay, right? So don't do that lah. Very simple only, right? Right, so Keng metal is indirect wealth together with friend star, right? So indirect wealth together with friend star, right? So I don't know whether you guys know this machine or not. This machine is basically to grind down a tree, right? So chopping down a tree is already very difficult, right? So this one is to grind down the tree, right? So how it is being made is basically many metal teeth put together, right? So which is where the friend star is. Everybody attack the thing together. Right, so there's opportunity, you get everybody to come and attack it together. Right, so you make big tasks into small tasks and distribute it around, attack everything together. Right, so of course, there is this entire idea of you all being able to share out whatever the spoil, wherever the return is, you need to know how to share out. So again, indirect wealth usually is a situation whereby there's many opportunity at the same time. So when there's many different opportunity at the same time, you can actually afford to give different opportunity to different people. This is where the friend star sharing come in. Right, so like certain deal come in is a big deal, right? So you go and find some of your friends to do this. Like for example, if a company come in and say that, I want to do a team building. So you do team building, there's actually a lot of things that you need to do, right? So you can go and find your friend, which is a hotel provider. The team building, need a venue, right? So your friend is a venue or provider. So you give some money for your friends to do. Then, you got a friend which is doing transport, right? You need transport, right? You need bus, right? You're going to find a friend that, do transport. Then you got friends that does F&B, does food supply, right? You go and find a friend that does food supply, right? So then you got a friend who supply props, you need props, a friend who supply props. You go and find your friend who supply props. See, now you got all your friends coming in with the venue, your friend coming in with the food, your friend coming in with the transport. Then, you are the one who basically conduct the training. Right, so can you see that you guys are, a group of people coming in together to pick up this opportunity, right? There's a lot of things for you to do. Is that particular idea of working together and sharing out the thing. Right? So do that. Right, so which means that the Keng matter this particular month, you're gonna have a lot of opportunity. It's crazy. Question right now is that, do you know who is the person who is, you know, you're supposed to work with? So again, when you have friend style, you need to be very careful with is not all the friend is competent. That is the biggest risk of using friend style, is that sometimes you get incompetent people. Right? Incompetent people inside your team is, you know, is because you are nice, you allow them to be around. Being a friend is fine, which means that, you know, there are no economical or there's nothing to deliver at time. Being friend is fine. But when there's actual something to deliver and this particular is not competent and screw the freaking things up, right, you're going to get into a lot of trouble. Okay? Right? So too little time, too much to do. Maybe yes. So no, it's entire idea of working together. Right? So now, aka, if this month you got nothing much to do, go stick together with the Keng. There's a lot of stuff to do, right? So, but what about Sin? Sin got direct. Sin will see you as a competitor. Keng will see you as somebody that can reduce the burden. So go look for Keng. Right? Go look for Keng, you know, ask Keng, you know, if there's anything that, you know, you can service. You will see that the Keng suddenly said, hey, I got this thing. Basically that I don't want to do, you want to do. Right? So work together. So you get a little bit of, you know, things in return for this. Right? So this is using the 八字chart. It's not the thing, oh, I don't have anywhere else. This particular die. You don't have else, go and look for people who has. That's it. But I don't know who asked you. Don't ask people's 八字chart. Yeah, can ask one, I can. You just have to tell them that you know how to read 八字. That's it. They will give you your birthday. Very amazing one, this particular one. Okay, you just go tell them that, hey, I just learned this thing called 八字. You know, ancient Chinese birthday reading. Right? So, you know, you want to try. You will see people come over and give you the, you know, they will volunteer their birthday. Then, you know, you keep or this one got this, at what time can use. Right, so last one, GF. Let's take a look at GF now. DOHO. Now, DOHO again is another one of the combination that, you know, we don't like, right? So, you know, Seong Kun Kin Kun. Alright, so Seong Kun Kin Kun, Wai Wo Pak Kun. Pak Tui, right? So that's basically it, right? So it's a situation, you know, whereby you want to break out of status quo, right? So this is like a big tree, the ground not very strong, you know, you fall down. Right, you fall down, right? So it's herding officer trying to, you know, find, right? So it's a situation whereby probably you feel like you have already outgrown the current rules and regulation. In a way, nothing wrong with it, right? So you feel like, you know, you're outgrown, right? So go out and venture on yourself, that's all, yeah, right? So again, go out and venture onto yourself, right? So it's like a tree on a pot. When you are small seed, that time the pot acts as a protector to you. Right now, you're big enough already. Or so called you claim you are big enough already. You want to go out venture, it's like, no, I do not want to, you know, things like that. You know, it's like, Abba, I'm big enough of a boy already, you know. Okay, good. Right? So you say big enough, well, go out. Right? So you go and pay for your own electricity, go and pay for your own transport, go and pay for your own lodging, go and pay for your own food, pay for your, you know, things like that. Now, every day I tell my children, every day I tell my daughter, you know, it's like, hey, you big girl already, you know, time to earn money and pay for your own, you know, internet, you know, it's like that. She said, no, I'm still a small girl. Right? So it's those type of situation. So again, is nothing wrong that, you know, you feel like you've outgrown your environment. So the key point here is that you need to take up responsibility. It's time for you to pick up some responsibility. Right? Time for you to go and pick up that particular responsibility. You know, go to a place whereby you can flourish. Nothing wrong with it. Right? Just be careful. There is responsibility for you to take. You want to break rules and regulations. Rules and regulation is there to protect. Right? So it is enacted because once upon a time, without these rules and regulation, it was chaos. When the rules and regulation come in, we get order. Right? So in a time of order, you get peace to grow. So right now, you feel like this particular rules and regulation is of no purpose anymore. Go lah. Right? You go outside, then you know. Right, so no, for example, a lot of, very sad to say, a lot of Malaysia business, because we are in a rather protected environment, right? So no. So when we go into international playground, die. Right. Because we lose all the protection that's given, privileges, stuff like that that's given to us. Gone, right? So no, it's that's the other situation, right? So now if you're gonna break rules, break regulation, all fine, all good, go and do it, but please pick up the responsibility as well. Everything come in a package, right? So don't go and no, this is not what I'm expecting. If you're not expecting that, please just stay in the pot, right? You want to get out of the pot, you need to be able to take care of the situation. All right, so this is your 10-day master for it, right? So formulate some strategy for yourself so that you know what are the things that you are supposed to do, right? So would be advised to limit traveling by car during Jiashen month. Some master would say, right? So because Jiashen is a physical clash, wood and metal is in the entire thing, which is what we call physical clash. So this physical clash is basically just inflexibility in dealing with things. So when we talk about traveling, it's like, are you the type of driver that is don't know how to give way? There are driver who doesn't know how to give way. If you are the type of driver who know how to give way, you're not rushing to the bridge. Oh, you want to cut my line, cut lah. Right? So oh, you want to overtake me, overtake lah. So I send you first, good journey ahead. Then no problem. Right? Then no problem. If you are the stubborn shit, no, I don't want to let you cut me. Okay. Right? So that one is probably, so you know your own driving habit, right? So your own driving habit, right? So the car won't cause any problem, the traffic won't cause any problem, but when you add you onto it, it's very, very problematic. Right? So don't mean to offend. No, there's nothing to offend, right? So this is very normal, right? So they see Jiasen is basically physical clash. The actual reason is two very stubborn fella who doesn't want to give way to each other. Metal and wood are two very stubborn fella. That's it. Very rigid, right? Wood and metal is rigid. Okay, they don't know how to change and bend. Okay, right? So they bulldoze stuff, right? So we put these two fellas together, bulldozing each other, see who die first, lor. Okay, right? But if you're not that type of person, you're a driver lah, so okay, right? So if your temperament is okay, people cut into your line, maximum you scold the mother father, but you don't do anything else one. No, it's okay to scold the mother father, I tell you first, it's okay. You want to swear inside the car, it's okay, right? But don't, right? Okay, take public transport. Take public from Malaysia, public transport not really that good, right? Unfortunately, Malaysian public transport is really not really that good. So I don't know who designed one, but anyway, okay, but but that's the situation, right? So that's the situation. The clash is basically two stubborn fella fighting each other. It's fine, right? So it's basically quite okay. All right, so now take care of yourself, right? So if there's anything, PM me in Telegram, join my Telegram, join my little new Paushi channel. Okay, see you guys. Bye.